Thank you, Vanessa. Okay, we're back. Thank you, Zoe. Okay. As I told, you have the bridge mode. The bridge mode you use when the clients and the publish and subscribe, or you have publish different subscribe, that does not sign. It's impossible to sign the same broker. Okay, like this example here. Another concept is about the WebSocket. The WebSocket is an extension of the common request response or the common HTTP protocol. The HTTP protocol, as I told, you have a request, you have a response, and the connection is terminated. Okay, but sometimes you need to these sessions is you want to the connection is not finished after you send a response. You want to send multiple response. Okay, it's the case of the WebSocket. Okay, you send a request, you make a handshake. Okay, that you negotiate the channel, the port, and other things, and you open a channel. Okay, the WebSocket. The channel, the name is WebSocket, and you keep this session, this channel open until you receive a disconnect. Okay, exactly if you see, it's very similar than the approach. It's very similar the approach that you use in the MQTT. Okay, it's the reason that you can encapsulate the MQTT inside the WebSocket. Okay, when do you use this approach? In JavaScript, and JavaScript is developed to run inside the browser. And for example, Python is not required, Java is not, but JavaScript, you cannot send directly message to the broker using directly the TCP. To work, the broker needs to run WebSocket. Okay. In a common application, use like in the Python. In the Python, you send directly the message, the raw message using the MQTT. In the JavaScript client, you need to send the same message encapsulate in the WebSocket. Okay. What changed? What happens is this one. You have an application, okay? In this case, you have an MQTT client. It's the way that the JavaScript works, okay? You have an MQTT client that encapsulates the message in the WebSocket, and you use the publish or subscribe through an HTTP message. It's a nice solution, for example, when you have a file in between the client, the broker, and the client, okay? Or in the case of the JavaScript, in the JavaScript, you don't have other option, okay? You need to use this approach, okay? In the broker use WebSocket too, okay? Any questions? What changed? Okay.
No.
What changed in the practical? If you see the okay. So, okay. The only change, it's the only thing that changed, okay? The only change is this one, okay? If you click here, you add this line here. Okay? You need to add this line here. It's the only difference between the code that you have in the Mosquito and the code that you need to run the Mosquito supporting the JavaScript application. If you try, for example, if you already compile the application in the JavaScript application and try to connect the broker that you already have, probably it's not working. Okay, it's not working. What you need to change? You need to add this line here in the Mosquito config file. When you add this line and you try to do the same thing in the JavaScript application, the things work. Okay? It's the only difference. The rest is exactly the same. Finally, you have secure channels in IoT. You need to understand, I don't go a very deep in this topic because it's a very complicated topic. Security is not an easy thing. It's not, to understand security, you need to go a little more deep, okay? But again, all the time, security is a trade-off between the level of protection, degree of disability, okay? Or the level of protection and performance, okay? The first problem that you have in the IoT is the IoT device have a limited compute power and memory capacity. And when you use strong cryptography, you need to perform a very complex calculation that consume a lot of power and a lot of memory sometimes. Okay? It's the reason that a lot of time you cannot implement a very strong security in the end device when you use the IoT. Another problem is the security. Security is not a static thing. Okay, the security is a dynamic thing. You increase the security every day. It's the reason that, for example, in your Windows or Linux or in your Mac, you have a lot of updates. Okay, for example, Windows Update. No? Why? Because every day you discover a new vulnerability or you discover a new exploitation, and you need to update, you need to protect your operation system, you need to increase the security inside you need to adjust update your operating system or the application to be protected against these new threats. It's the reason that you need to update your user Windows Update, you need to update your antivirus, you need to update your file. Security is a dynamic activity. It's not like you think in the past. In the past, I bought the most expensive secure device, like a file, installed in my network, and everything's good. No. Today, when you start your file, maybe it is obsolete. Okay, you need to update it. And when you need to update constantly the device, it's a new challenge to IoT. There is a study where IoT has a very, very big problem because the people buy a very expensive device, a very expensive network, but never update the device. I have a question to you. Please extend your hand who already update the firmware of your router access point in your home. The question is, who installed in your life the firmware of your access point in your home? I changed you, Ernesto. Thank you very much. Congratulations. You are very, you are an exception most of the time. Another one? No? Yes. See? Did you see, Ernesto? It's very rare because the people don't think it's necessary or don't know. Another example is, for example, who is update the firmware of your BIOS of your the motherboard. Who already had time to update the firmware of the computer motherboard? Yes, it's much. Yeah, there are a lot of people that already, not a lot, no, 3, 4, 4 guys, that's 5 guys that's already did. It's, but again, we have 26 people in the session. It's not a very common task, but in the computer is easiest. Okay. The question is, for example, you install a device, for example, like I said, in the middle of the jungle. Okay, in the place that you need to go with a boat, spend a week to be to maintain this device. Okay, you need a week to travel until the device to go to the place where the device is installed. This device you update 1 time a year. If you update, okay, there is a study. There is I don't know if you have now, but I remember a website that the people publish in the internet, and you connect this device, make a search in the internet, okay, looking for cameras, webcams, and the cameras in general that is vulnerable. Invade this camera. It's not invade. Authenticate this camera. Use the default username and password, and publish the camera in the internet. For example, things about it's very crazy. You have a webcam in your home, okay, and you never set one username and a password. You use the default password that is installed in the device. These websites looking for the internet and found your webcam. Okay, the guy used the default username password and connect and have control of your camera, including can change the username and password. Okay, but this guy don't change. What this guy did? He connect and publish the video. If this camera is, for example, in the front of your home, all the internet will know which time you enter in your home, who enter if you in your home. It's crazy. Think about that. And the problem of this website that publish not only about the homeware, only about the home cameras, but the industry cameras. Okay, the cameras that control a very complex productions, or the cameras that control a very sensitive targets. Okay, and what it happens because the people does not update, does not have any worry about the security of this device. Only buy, install, and forget. Okay. Did you understand the example? Did you already listen about this website or not? It's new.
I think for me it's new.
Look for doing when you try to realize the exercise, then you try to found this website. I don't know if it's because it's I use this website as example in the security course 3 years ago. I don't know if I believe the people put this website offline now, but I don't know. But maybe it's work. It's again, for example, another example. Smartphone no, IP phone. Okay, it's like a IP phone is a phone. Okay, that you use an IP technology. Okay, and again, this device is a phone. Okay, is this device go to the with default username and default password. It's very common that nobody changed the password and the username and password to a specific username and password. It's a very common, for example, I work for 5 years in the cybersecurity in the telephony. And the first thing that you, for example, when you do the pen test, before I start to think a very elaborate pen test, the first thing that I change is I have a script in the Python that has the database of the standard username and password, and runs the script. And a lot of time, 80% of the network is compromised, and okay, it's the beginning. And the first day I have a very strong result to talk with the security guys. Okay, so do you understand the example? Do you understand what we're talking now? Does it make sense for you?
Yeah.
When you implement security, you can implement, remember the Aussie model? You have the Aussie here and the TCP IP in the Aussie in the, it is the TCP IP standard, okay? You have the data link network transport application. You can implement the security any layer that you want. For example, in the data link, you can encrypt the data link layer. The problem that the two sides, the network interface, okay, the physical interface need to implement the same layer of security. Okay, it's not so common in the civilian application. It's very common in the military application. Okay, the second layer is the network. The IP has one standard that which name is IPsec, and IPsec encrypt the IP layer. What it means? It means that you have a point-to-point encryption. Okay, all the flow that all the traffic that flows from your IP to another IP is encrypted. The problem of this layer, to implement security this layer, is because first, if you have one device like a router in the middle, this router needs to support the encryption. It needs to share encryption secrets with the peers. Okay, it's not so easy to implement the IPsec. Okay, you can implement, but you need to have a very strong control about all the nodes that is involved in the communication. You can encrypt the transport layer. Okay, you can encrypt the TCP, and you can encrypt the TCP using a protocol like a TOS. In this example, it's very similar than networking, like a IPsec. However, the difference is in TOS, you don't need to have, for example, you have device A, device B, but you use a router in the middle. You don't need the router in the middle participate in the same trusted than the A and B. Okay, the router, the communication is transferred to the router. And the TOS is the protocol that you use inside the HTTPS, okay, for example, to make HTTP security connections, okay, in the browser, for example, to connect the banks, to connect any application in the internet. But for example, one specific application is to connect, for example, to your app, connect the bank. And you can implement the security in the application layer, for example, in the MQTT. MQTT does not have a lot of security. Okay, you can use the username and password like you said in the last exercise that you did about MQTT. Any questions that you hear?
No, not for now, teacher.
Okay. So now I will show some basic scenarios. The first scenario is very, very basic. You already implemented the scenario, okay? You have a publisher, you have a broker, and this broker, you have two subscribers. What you change the scenario? In this scenario, you have two tops. The top one is humidity, and the top two is temperature, okay? This publish the top one and the top two. And the subscribe to receive only the top humidity, okay? The top two, so sorry, the subscribe two only subscribe the humidity. The subscribe three, okay, so here, only subscribe the temperature, okay? What you need to change in the mosquito? The mosquito don't need to change nothing, okay? You need to remember to define a low anonymous, to don't ask it for username and password. You need to define the port that you run the mosquito, and you need to define SG out only to print the log in console. Okay. If you don't put this line here, you don't see if your broker is running works or not. Okay. And just only remember to run the mosquito, you enter, it's very important. Give me a second. Oh my gosh, I don't share my screen. Okay, sorry. I record the session yet. Okay. Again, it's the base again. The base scenario, you have the broker, you have a publish that publish the first topic in minutes, the second topic in the truth, and you have two different subscribers. Subscribe two, subscribe three, subscribe two, only subscribe the release top, and subscribe three, the temperature. What you need to change? In the mosquito, don't need to change nothing. The only thing that you need to pay attention is to remember to set allow anonymous, okay? To don't need to have username and password to connect the broker, to define the port, and to define log destination. In this case, use ST out. You need to define it because if you don't define this line here, you didn't see any output that the broker provides. And to run, it's very easy. You run mosquito -c, the name of the config file, okay, this file here, and -v to print in the console the message. A very important information, you need to assure that you are an HC mosquito, and you need to assure that you'll be root or super user. Okay, it's the only thing that you need to do in mosquito in the server file. Any question?
No, not for now, but we use the same console we used for last time.
Yes, you can use the same console. Yes, you can use. I will run and show here in the. I will run my machine this example. Okay, I want to show the information after you run in show the things running online. Okay. Okay. Now it's the code in the Python. Okay, using for example the pie chart. Okay. The first thing you need to define the parameters, okay, in the Python script. The first one is the address of the group, okay. In this example, I run all the nodes in the same machine, okay. But if you use, for example, in another machine, you need to set here the address of the group. The broker is responsible to publish two topics, the temperature and the humidity, okay. An important method is the connection. And the connection, you have this method, onConnect, where you pass a client. A very important thing here is this line here, okay? In this line, you instantiate a client. In our case, you only pass the client ID. However, you can pass the client ID, if you clean the session, if you pass any user data, and you can define the protocol. For example, if you want that your MQTT Python application run, for example, WebSocket, you don't need, but if you want to run WebSocket, you need to define protocol WebSocket. Another follow this same code in the publish. You have this method here, client loop start and client loop stop. I remember a group of students asking about how to work with threads in the Python. You don't need to use you don't need, and it's very difficult to use in MQTT, the thread, use the thread that the Python provides. It's easiest to use the threads that MQTT Paro provides. One of them is the loop start and loop stop. What it happens? The loop start to run after you connect. Okay, you connect. Okay, if you see here, you connect. After you connect, you can call the loop start. Okay, what the loop start will do? The loop start, you continue to running in the background, looking for message that this published node receive. Okay, what you do is what this guy will do is you run this line, and when this line runs line, you open a new thread. Okay, here. Okay, and you follow to continue to run here. And this thread runs in the background to wait for any message that you receive from, for example, the broker. Is this method here that receives the output? For example, you continue, no? While 2 times w1, temperature is equal something, message is something, you run the publish. Okay? When you call the publish, okay, you call this method here. You call the client publish top message, and you receive a result. When you receive this result, you receive the result in this thread here. Okay, you receive this thread and save the result here. If you don't call the loop start, you cannot receive the output of this method. Did you understand? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Remember, you have 2 subscribers, no? The subscriber 1 that receive humidity, subscriber 2 that receive temperature. Oops. The subscriber temperature. The only thing that you need to pay attention is you need to define the top, no? You only receive server dash temperature. And an important method is the definition on message. Okay. You call this method when you receive a message from the broker. Okay. Again, yes. It's exactly the same example than the other. You have the client loop forever. This client loop forever open a new thread and wait for message. Okay. For example, when you receive, for example, this message, you send a message, you subscribe at top, and when you subscribe at top, you start to wait for message, for news about this topic. Okay. When you open that thread, you receive that thread, the message, and you publish it here, the output. It's exactly the same idea than the example that I shown before. And you need this the same. Okay, I stop now. I will open my VMware here and show this thing running my computer. Okay. Just a moment, guys. Okay. I open the terminal and I open the pie chart. Okay, in the terminal, remember, first become super user. Okay, now second, go to the folder. What's the name of the folder is? Mosquito. Okay, just only check the file, no? And mosquito.com. And you see here you have a rule minus 2, login 1 and 3, and log destination as STR. Okay? And I run the mosquito minus C, mosquito conf, and minus. Oh, it's updates my. It's new, guys. Ah, no, it's correct. I typed it wrong. Okay, sorry. Okay. It's run. Okay, now I go to the Python. Case one. Okay. You have the publish here. Again, remember that I run my computer. I need to run this one. Okay. I connect and start to publish. Okay, you can see here, and you can see that is run. And now you run the subscribe immediately, and you run the subscribe temperature. Okay. If you see the subscribe humidity, only receive the humidity because you only sign the humidity top. If you see the temperature subscribe, you only see the subscribe top. Did you understand?
So it's similar what we did last time, just changing some documents, no?
Yes, it's exactly the same. The only thing that I changed is because I create two different subscribers then to see that you can, because in that example, you have one subscriber, you have only one top. Now you have two tops and two different subscribers. Did you understand? But exactly the same
Okay.
example that you worked before. Okay?
Okay. And how do we send you the mosquito files? We copy and paste or from the terminal?
Here,
Yeah,
I didn't.
because the
For example,
delivery says that.
to copy, for example, if I understood this, how I copy it, for example, and save in my computer.
Mhm.
Yeah, just copy paste. For example, if you put here, copy, and For example, paste. Did you see?
Okay, yes.
Okay. Any question about this example here, the case one? Again, you have these files. You have, but you did, oh my gosh. Give me a second. I will publish these files here, okay? How I publish. Oh my gosh. Give me a guys. Give me a sec. I may copy the okay, guys, I will share my computer now is, okay, is, okay. My computer is freezing. Okay, guys, give me a second. I'm closing a lot of things here. Okay, my computer is freezing and I try to close the apps here, okay? Give me a second. Okay, during the interval, I will share the files, okay? It's not working the way that I try, okay? I don't know why. And it's working. It's crazy. So, okay, if you see here, you have the mosquito conf, the files that I use, okay? If you want to download and to check, okay? I stopped the process here to, I believe the problem is because, no, yes, it's called. I need to open the PowerPoint because I closed the PowerPoint. Okay. The case two is a little more complicated, okay? But you already use it, you already did it before too. You continue to have a publish that's published two tops, the top one, top two, the humidity and temperature. However, now you have a bridge broker. You have a bridge broker that runs in 183 that send a message to the central broker. Okay, this guy received this top, forward to this guy, and this guy deliver the tops to the subscriber. Okay, in the central broker, the only thing that you need to pay attention is the port. Okay, put the port 184. Okay, the rest of the file is exactly the same. And the bridge brokers is a little more is a different, no? The first thing, you need to define a connection name. Remember, the connection name is to, for example, you have a central broker that you receive message from 3, 4 different bridge brokers. The connection name help you to identify where the message is from. Okay. You need to define the type of bridge. Remember, yeah, I will explain the next slide. You need to define the address of the central broker. Okay, you need to define the address of this guy, that define where you send the message. In this case, remember that the broker, the central broker, run the same machine and the port 184. You need to define it. And the type of bridge is very important. You have three types of bridge: out, in, both. In the both, the bridge broker and receive message from other brokers, like a central broker, or send message to the central broker. Okay, it's the both. The out, the message only receive message from the publish and forward to another broker. And only in the bridge broker receive message from other brokers. Okay, like the central broker. Okay, in our case is out, because if you see here, this guy receive message from the publish and forward. Don't receive message from other brokers. Okay. In the client, it's exactly the same. The only thing that you need to remember, the publish need to run the 183. And in the line that you publish the code, remember in the last example, uh, we define the method is only the top and message. Now I define the QS like a two, okay, the QS2, okay, to improve the assurance that this message will receive to the final destination, okay. In the subscriber, remember to define the correct address. Remember that you send the message localhost 184, okay. Here, the subscriber is connected to the central broker that you run 184. sorry, no, okay. And like the publish, I will define the QS like two, okay, in the subscriber line. Remember, in the previous code, you have only this parameter. Okay, and everything is done. Okay, I run in my computer. Okay. Okay, first I will show the bridge mosquito. Okay. You have the name of the connection, the top, and the address. Okay, and show the central group. Okay, the port 184. Okay. I need to have another shell now because one shell I will run mosquito min C central mosquito from min D. Okay, and I need a new shell to run the bridge broker, no? So isso. Mosquito, mosquito, min C, and bridge broker, minus B. Okay, now I have a central broker in this shell and the bridge broker in this cell. The shell, sorry. And close like that. And I will run the case two. The change the case two. The port is correct. And remember in the here, when you publish, you put the QS. And the subscriber, remember to set 184. And the subscribe of the top you put QS. Okay. I run the mosquito publisher. Okay, I connect, everything's correct. Okay. If I want to check, here is it's the central book. Okay. You publish it here and you subscribe here. Okay, you forward here. If you see it's a central book, receive message from the other one. Okay, and now I need to run the subscriber. The first subscriber, the second subscriber. Okay, if the subscriber receives because your configuration is correct. Okay, this guy send publish and this guy forward the message to the correct subscriber. Okay, temperature and the other one is the humidity. Okay, only receive the humidity. Did you understand? Any question?
That we didn't do in the original one, right?
Yeah, it's very, the example is very similar than the original one. Okay, I only changed some parameters to, for example, today we talk about the QoS. I show the QoS. Today I talk to have two different tops. You show an example with two different tops. You can have 3, 4, 5. Okay, but exactly
Okay.
the basic idea is the same.
Okay. Thank you,
Uh-huh.
teacher.
Okay. So, any questions about this example, guys? No? Okay. I stop because if you didn't stop, my computer stopped to work. Okay. Okay, guys. I will give I will give a big break. Okay. We return 10. I don't know which time is now in Mexico.
10:52.
10:52. Okay. We return 11:10. Okay.
Okay.
And we'll discuss about the last example, last case. Okay. See you soon, guys.
Okay.
Thank you.